Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my Alsace wine journey. And today we're going to rediscover the wines of Domaine Bott Geyl. This is part of the Alsace Millesimes Digitasting 2021 series, brought to you by Vin Alsace. And why I'm saying rediscover, I've already done a review of this winery, their Sonnenglanz Gewürztraminer 2008, which I loved. So I'm rediscovering this winery. So let's get to something about the winery and let's get to tasting the wines. I did a previous review of Bott Geyl's Wines 2008 Gewürztraminer from Sonnenglanz, and so that you go to that video to get more history about the winery in detail. Essentially, they've had winemaking origins back to 1795. This winery was established in 1953. The current owner is pictured here is Christophe Bott. He was given control of the winery in 1993. The winery has been certified organic since 2000 and biodynamic since 2002. The first wine we're going to try is going to be their Riesling from 2017 from the Grand Cru vineyard of Mandelberg. So this is about, it's got an altitude of 200 to 20 to 270 meters. It faces south-southwest, which is where the sun rises, so that's good. The soil has some chalk with magnesium and chalk in the stones. The next wine is going to be the 2017 Riesling from the Grand Cru vineyard of Schlossberg. So Schlossberg is interesting. It is the first Grand Cru vineyard that was created, and this is really where Riesling is grown. It's a great place for Riesling to grow. It's right at the base of the Vosges Mountains, and so it has sandstone and a lot of ancient kind of soils. So it's really good for Riesling in particular. The next wine is going to be from the vineyard or the Grand Cru vineyard of Sonnenglanz. It's Pinot Gris in 2016. So again, I've reviewed another wine from them, which is a Gewürztraminer from the same region. So Sonnenglanz is Grand Cru for both for Pinot Gris and for Gewürztraminer. Has about altitude of about 220 to 270 meters. The soil is mostly marl. It faces southeast, and it has a particularly dry microclimate, which is good for Gewürztraminer and Pinot Gris. And their last wine we're going to taste is their Pinot Noir 2016, the Galets Oligocene. So that translated is the pebbles of Oligocene. So I guess it's an AOC wine from Alsace, mostly from the village of Bethlehem. And I guess because there's deposits of Oligocene pebbles, that's why they kind of named it after the soil that the Pinot Noir grapes are grown on. Start with their 2017 Grand Cru Riesling from Mandelberg. This is all their wineries are biodynamic and of course organic. So I have to say on these wines, again, it's difficult to taste the manner because we're getting just samples. You're not getting the full bottle. We're not doing this with food, and actually Alsace wines probably taste a lot better once they're aged. So these are very, very young wines, and I don't have as much experience with older Alsace wines, so I can't kind of tell you what to expect. With other regions that I drink a lot more, I'm kind of much more familiar with how they taste like older, so I can kind of assess, oh, this is gonna what it is like. But I'm kind of fairly fresh to Alsace wine, so not as familiar what this is gonna mean for the future. Light aroma, citrusy, honey, a little bit of minerality, but overall, quite pleasant. On the taste, good intensity of fruit good acidity, but I like the intensity of the fruit. Again, this might have something to do with their biodynamic. And I find that with most wineries that are biodynamic or organic, their fruits do taste much richer, much fuller, and much more intense. Tropical fruits, I'd say a tanginess to it. I'd say like kiwi fruit, peaches, honey. Not a huge aftertaste. It's good wine, I like it. But I think it would do better with some time, and I think it would also do better with food. I'm going to give it 89 points. The next wine we're going to trace is another Riesling, 2017, from another Grand Cru vineyard called Schlossberg. So it would be nice, interesting comparison to Mandelberg. So Schlossberg, the smell is cleaner. It's got a little bit more minerality, but whereas with Mandelberg, it was more citrusy and I think a sweeter honey notes. This one is more minerality and lighter fruits, like almost like a pear, like apple, and like a green apple and pears. In terms of aroma, both different styles. I don't think I prefer one to the other. One is more this one is a little bit more minerality into it, and it's got a little more white fruit for and that the Mandelberg had a little bit more honey. So neither is preferential to me. Both are about the same. They're both light but aromatic. It's funny because the last wine Mandelberg, I said it had good intensity. Then you taste Schlossberg, which has better intensity, I think, and it's got some minerality on the back. Very similar. If I would have to compare the two, I would say Schlossberg's got a little bit more intensity in terms of flavor, a little bit more acidity, and definitely more minerality. So in my books, the Schlossberg is a better preference for me. So I give this 90 points. Almost going to 91 here. This is a nice Riesling. I like this quite a bit. But I have a preference with Bott Geyl. I like their story. I like what he's doing. So again, it could be personal preference too. Now we're going to go to the Pinot Gris. It's a 2016 from Sonnenglanz. And of course, this is the Grand Cru vineyard that we drank the Gewürztraminer for. Yeah, I like the aroma. Light pear, acacia, white flowers. With Pinot Gris, a lot of times I have said this on other videos, I'm not a big Pinot Gris fan. I don't like the citrusy, grapefruity elements to it. But this has it, but it's very muted. Very light intensity, almost floral in its aroma. So to me, it's more pleasing. Again, great intensity of fruit. That's through all these wines so far. I love the intensity of the fruit. Precise, really easy to taste. You don't have to look for the taste. Pear. I'd love to have another. And again, how I know I like it is that I want to have more. It's intriguing me. I want to have more. So I would love to have a little bit more of this wine. Yeah, so light fruits, tropical in nature, Um, doesn't, again, what bothers me normally with Pinot Gris is it's too citrusy, it's too grapefruity. This is well balanced. I like it. Again, this is one of the better Pinot Gris that I've had from Alsace. I'm going to give this 90 points too. I like this, and that's pretty high for me because I don't even like Pinot Gris, so I'm not a Pinot Gris fan, and so yeah, so it's a good wine. The last wine we're going to taste is their Pinot Noir from 2006. It's called Galets Oligocene. I'm sure it has a English name too. Let me see if I have the English name to it. No. So, AOC, Alsace, so it could come from anywhere in Alsace. So this one's, again, it could be that I'm coming around to, I'm getting used to Alsace Pinots and their smell. This one's got very clean fruit again, plums, blackberries, some spice, some roastiness. But I'm trying to pick up something else. It's like it sounds weird, but I almost want to say like coconuts. I know that's probably not right, but I mean, that's what it reminds me of, that smell. But quite unique and quite intense, quite precise. And again, it's starting to warm on me because if you're drinking these wines, definitely Alsace Pinots have a certain taste and certain smell that it distinguishes them from Oregon or from on the taste, it was quite fruity, quite fruity in terms of from an Alsace perspective. It was kind of black currants, red berries. With Alsace Pinots, I find them a little bit austere, astringent, but this was not too bad. So maybe I'm getting around to it, or maybe this is a good wine, but I'd rate this 88 points or 89 points even. So it's one of the better Pinots from Alsace that I've tasted. Final thoughts on this tasting of Domaine Bott Geyl. I'm a fan. I'm already a fan even before the tasting. So I like what they do. I like the story. I think they make great wines. In fact, I like their Pinot Gris and their Pinot Noir better than the Rieslings. And I'm really liking this Sonnenglanz vineyard. I like the Gewürz. I like their Pinot. So it seems to me that this terroir is something that I'm liking. So it's kind of neat to do this tasting. Until next time, happy drinking.